This is a special bonus episode of Buckeyes Tomorrow Morning. Got a lot of stuff to talk about this week. Not that many more days left to go until the game against Tennessee on Saturday, so we're going to cram a little extra content in your podcast feed and on your YouTube channel today. It's fine. We get it. This is not the first big game we've covered. It probably won't be the last one either. So here we go. This is going to be a chance for you to hear from Tennessee head coach Josh Huepel in the lead up to this game. First question for Josh Huepel here, just some general thoughts about Ohio State and the challenge ahead for the Volunteers.
Great opportunity this week, playing a big game against a great opponent. A lot of work's gone on to get to this point. Guys started back in January, staff and players together, and they've earned the right to play in a game like this. Great opponent, great venue. You look at Ohio State defensively; they lead almost every category in the country, and offensively got elite players on that side of the ball, and they tie it together well with special teams. So huge challenge for us, but one we're really excited about. And preparation's been good. We got to continue that this week and get ready to go play our best football when we get up to Columbus. So great opportunity. Hope we see a bunch of our fans showing up as well.
This first round game of the college football playoff is just the next step for both of these teams in the process of trying to win the national championship. Win this one, win 3 more, and boom, you get a nice shiny trophy, you get some confetti, everyone goes home happy. So that's sort of similar for these two teams. However, it's a little bit of a different spot for these two teams because for Ohio State, this is kind of normal being in the college football playoff. They've been in there multiple times. This is not anything new for them other than the fact that it's going to be a home game and it's a 12-team playoff this year instead of a 4-team. For Tennessee, this is the first time they've ever made the college football playoff. Why you're seeing a little more excitement from Tennessee fans than Ohio State fans right now, one of the reasons anyway. So, this is sort of the big payoff in some ways for Tennessee, where some of the senior class this year, including guys like running back Dylan Samson, for example, they came to Tennessee when Josh Huepel really didn't have anything to point to. It was more of a vision rather than here's some tangible signs that I'm not just completely full of it. So now, how much does it mean to them to really be able to say, okay, look, the stuff we talked about, now we're here?
One of the goals for our program is to earn the right to get into this tournament. Proud of what our guys have done. First week of this preparation, we got a lot of young guy work. We've been intentional with that throughout the course of the season as well, and have tried to continue that as we've shifted our focus to Ohio State. But this is all the work and energy that you put into it. This is where you want to be.
Josh, for the people that believed in your vision before you had anything to point to, Dylan specifically, what does it mean for them to get to this point, to be in the playoff, and to have tangible results of things that they believed in when you had just gotten here and they were coming on board? Yeah, absolutely.
Next step for us as a program, 2 years ago, I think we finished 6th in the country. There's a lot of guys that have been a part of building this. You look at the senior class, guy like Dylan that bought into the vision before there was tangible proof on the field of who we are, what we're about, and how we're going to go play together. And it only happens because of the guys inside of that locker room. It's a room filled of guys that care about the guys around them. They're elite competitors. And, really proud of what they've done, again, to restamp this program. It happens because of your staff and your players all buying into a vision, competing towards that every single day. We've continued to take steps. I'm really proud of everybody that's involved in that. But this is the next step that we had to take as a program. And it's a great opportunity, but now it's about what are you going to do with the opportunity. And it starts long before you get to kickoff. It's preparation and practice the right way to give yourself a chance to go play elite football.
This is one the reporter set up with. Now, this is kind of going to be an odd question, which is always a great way to start a question during a press conference. Josh Huepel did end up agreeing. Yeah, this is a little odd, but the question was, so is your roster basically set with the playoff game now coming up? Do you know who you're going to have and who you're not going to have, given, the transfer portal and all that?
Okay, that is an odd question, yes. Obviously, the calendar, the way that it's set up, it's unique. This might be the only sport that operates this way, where, transfer portal, free agency, whatever you want to call it, is right in the middle of your postseason play. But we do feel like the roster's set. This group's ready to go compete and ready to prepare the right way. They've had really good energy and focus last week as we knew who our opponent was going to be, and we could start our preparation, and had great energy today as well.
Ohio State usually doesn't need much help filling up Ohio Stadium for a Buckeye football game, but they're going to get some help this weekend. Tennessee fans, based on what you've seen online, Tennessee fans have bought a good number of tickets. Whether that's 10,000 or 20,000 or some other number, we'll find out on Saturday. But was Josh Huepel a little bit surprised at the way Tennessee fans seem to be very enthusiastically snapping up tickets?
Not with this fan base. It's a nice short drive up there, and Christmas is right around the corner. It's a great Christmas present. So,
you probably think of Josh Huepel as an Oklahoma guy. That is, of course, where he played his college football. You might think of him as a Tennessee guy. That's where he coaches his college football, or a Florida guy. He actually grew up in South Dakota. So when you look at a forecast that calls for temperatures around 20 degrees, maybe some 10 to 15 kind of mile-an-hour winds, that's not really going to psych out Josh Huepel as a guy who grew up in South Dakota.
Yeah, it's a June day in South Dakota. It's going to be great football weather. A couple of weeks ago we played in 30-degree weather. We practiced in the morning, still chill. As cold as it will be around this area, and at the end of the day, you get between the white lines. Weather doesn't matter. The temperature doesn't, and we'll be ready to go play. It'll be a lot of fun.
Both Tennessee and Ohio State obviously wanted to make their conference championship game, but neither one did. Now, one of the side benefits to that is you did get an extra week to sort of rest and heal up. So how much of a benefit has this time off been for the Volunteers as they try to get healthy before they come to Columbus on Saturday?
Yeah, that typically happens in this league. As you go through all those games, every football team in this league is going to be banged up. Having a couple extra weeks to heal up, I feel like we'll have everybody ready to roll when we get up there. The line of scrimmage is going to be important in this one. It always is in big football games. You got to be able to run the football on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, you got to control the line of scrimmage. That's your first and second level and your safeties in particular. But line of scrimmage will matter. You want to get people into predictable third downs and then be able to rush the passer and get off the field.
One of the big pieces of Tennessee's rebuild under Josh Huepel is the addition of quarterback Nico Iamaleava. He was a very, very highly sought quarterback coming out of high school. When the Volunteers got him, well, that was a pretty big deal. So what really stands out about Iamaleava's game in Heupel's eyes?
I just think his ability to reset and go play the next play, next drive, next half, his ability to continue to grow and compete throughout the course of the football game. As a young quarterback, that's really hard to do. He's done a really good job of that.
I'm sure Ohio State fans right now are looking at Tennessee's roster and going, I'm a little concerned about that. I'm a little concerned about that. Not sure I like that matchup. That's natural in the lead up to a game like this. I can tell you, based on the questions that players and Heupel got on Monday down in Knoxville, there's a lot of concern about the Ohio State wide receiver room, which, yeah, that makes sense too. So what kind of a challenge does that Ohio State wide receiver unit present for the Volunteers?
Yeah, it'll be a big part of it. You got to not give up a bunch of big explosive plays where they create momentum, field position, ability to score points. So it does start with the line of scrimmage for us, but we got to do a great job of playing disciplined and matching people out, playing with fundamentals and technique, and then going and making plays. There's going to be one-on-one situations. We got to win the lion's share of those.
Tennessee has played some very talented teams throughout the course of their schedule this year, Alabama, Georgia. I mean, this is not a new thing for them to play a team at the top of the sport. But what stands out about this Ohio State team in Heupel's eyes on both defense and offense?
Yeah, defensively, within the scope of the structure that they're playing, they got great discipline. Their eyes are in the right spot. They match things out. Their front seven make it tough to run the football. Then offensively for them, they do a really good job in those situations. Dynamic playmakers out on the outside, so when you load the box, they got guys that have the opportunity to go win in one-on-ones, and when you don't, they're efficient in running the football. Running backs are elite, for us defensively, we got to do a great job. And, if you can hold them to field goals, it changes the way the game's played. Offensively, we got to find a way to get 7 down there.
Here's a great one. It's a question you get a lot at these kind of press conferences when you've got a couple of weeks between games. What kind of an opportunity is that to put in maybe some new things, some new wrinkles? It's a very common question. Josh Huepel's answer, perhaps a little bit tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah, we have nothing new defensively, offensively, or special teams. It'll be exactly what we've done.
What does it mean to Heupel and the Volunteers to have an opportunity to play a game like this against one of the most storied programs in the country, in one of the most storied venues in the country?
Absolutely. One of the goals you have is to get into postseason play. You're in the tournament. Now it's about, preparation and getting ready to go play your best football. You can see the focus in the guys, and at the same time, not making it bigger than it is, meaning it's just 11 on 11. We're playing a great opponent, great venue, but it comes down to doing the ordinary things here.
And we're going to wrap up with questions about a couple of the big offensive players that you should know. We've been talking about them a bunch over the last couple of weeks, so they're probably names you do know by now, but we're going to start with running back Dylan Samson. What makes Dylan Samson such an incredible player for Tennessee?
Just Dylan, super consistent in how he approaches everything inside of our building. That's meeting room, it's in the weight room, on the practice field. Dynamic leader for us as a program, and then as a player, just his growth since he's gotten here, what he's done to prepare himself to have the load that he's carried this year. You watch the tape, he's done a great job of creating big plays, explosive plays, making people miss, but he's done a great job of understanding, when it's not clean, getting his pads down and going +2 at the end of the runs. But he plays great without the ball in his hands as well, and a huge part of our success as a football team.
And finally, one more about Nico Iamaleava. Yes, I just like saying that name. Nico Iamaleava, the quarterback for Tennessee. What is it that has allowed him to maybe sort of take on a bigger role as a leader on this year's team, despite being just such a young player?
Yeah, as a young player, everybody wants the quarterback to be the leader immediately. Smart, young quarterbacks understand that there's a growth and an evolution to it. Nico's been great in one-on-one situations from the time that he got here, communicating with wideouts. He grew into, communicating and challenging the 5 guys in front of him. But now you can feel, as he started to play, you can feel his presence in everything that we're doing every single day. And Nico's got a great understanding of, man, you gotta be with the guys. You're not one of the guys when you're the quarterback, but you got to be with the guys. You see him at the hotel on Friday nights. He's eating dinner with the offensive lineman. He's with the defensive lineman. He does a great job of, kind of getting out of his quarterback group or just the offensive unit and developing relationships with those guys. And that's a big part of leadership. Those guys having a relationship with you, understanding that you care about them, allows you to lead them.
All right, so that's your bonus show for today. Hope you guys enjoyed that. We'll have much more coverage coming up. Buckeyes interviews, Tennessee interviews, all sorts of stuff all week long, plus a bunch of preview shows, plus our pregame coverage, our postgame coverage, our behind-the-scenes coverage at the stadium on Saturday. We're going to have a ton of coverage for you all week long at BuckeyeHuddle.com and, of course, at YouTube.com/BuckeyeHuddle as well. That will do it for now. We'll see you guys a little bit later on.